Hi guys, Zizaran here. I wanted to make an update video about, for example, really fun builds to play, talking a little bit about 3.15 and where we are now, because a lot of people got a initial shock reaction to the league and weren't enjoying it. And while it might not be my favorite league, it actually is very much definitely not my favorite league, but there are still a lot of things you can do to make the league more enjoyable. So first off, let's talk a little bit about builds that ended up being really strong, and let's talk a little bit about the current meta. I have never seen anything like it. 26% of solo self-found expedition hardcore are playing Spectral Shield Throw, and honestly, this is an incredibly fun build. It was way strong as a starter, and you don't feel the nerfs as much as a lot of other builds. You obviously don't have like as insane damage as what we did in 3.14 or 3.13, but yeah, incredibly strong starter. Definitely would recommend this to people that aren't necessarily having the most fun. A lot of people, especially with how fast I'm clearing maps, they were like, weren't Flask nerfed? Because, you know, I have pretty much 100% uptime on Flask still. So very good choice. And I have a build guide for this. I have an update for this very recently as well. So very solid if you're looking for a fun build to cure your PoE depression at the moment. And we can take a little bit of a look at other builds as well. A lot of people are playing Spectral Helix and Shield Crush. Shield skills absolutely dominating. And I don't think I've ever seen this bad build diversity, even this early. And next up brings us to Forbidden Right. Again, this is all Soul Self on Hardcore. We're going to look at Softcore Trade League, which is the league that really matters. Obviously, that's where the majority play. But Forbidden Right, very strong as well. Just with like some light POBing, you can easily get to between 5 and 10 million damage. And that is what I'm rolling next. Especially good softcore build because it can be a little bit hard on hardcore to get the damage up. Get the survival up. But incredible build. You should just be nuking down bosses. And as always, Spectres, very good choice. Gazi has a lot of builds for that. And then we have Trappers, Ice Trap, very strong as well. And well, we can see here. And PoE Ninja is a great way, especially as a slightly more experienced player that don't necessarily need a handholdy guide like the ones I make. To find builds that are really strong. And we can look here at Expedition, and even on softcore, we have Spectral Shield Throw at 12%, and then obviously Spectres at 12%. Spectres are particularly good on softcore because there is one node that we really struggle to take on hardcore, and that is, where is Aegis? There. Necromantic Aegis, and a lot of people take that for some really juiced damage, and we cannot take that on hardcore because our shield is such a large part of survival. Toxic Rain, really strong as always, and we have a build guide for this. People have been very happy with this. And Caustic Arrow, it's kind of high up because Toxic Rain uses both on 5 Link Plus. So I would assume that it's an overlap there. And obviously a lot of people like Caustic Arrow and just playing that too. Skeleton's very strong, and Cyclone being a pretty decent contender as well. I do have a 3.13 Cyclone guide. Shouldn't be too much of a change since then. A build that isn't in the top of the meta, but I've had a crazy amount of feedback on that people are very happy with it, is this Summon Raging Spirits build. The Summon Raging Spirit build just still crushes everything. I had a few people who were complaining about low damage, but they were using minion damage, which we do say in the build guide not to use. If you're wondering why it is bad, it's basically just 3% more damage or something. It's barely anything. So that's why we don't use minion damage anymore. The minion life debuff on minion damage is insanely bad, specifically for this build. So keep that in mind when making the build. But yeah, incredibly strong. People have already been killing Feared and Awakener with it. Next up, let's talk a little bit about the league. And the patch yesterday did wonders for the league itself. I was... I don't know if this is just me, but I really don't like the in-map league mechanic. I think it's kind of like tedious and slow, and it's actually all my fears for Legion is this league mechanic. So it's not one that really meshed well with me. However, I really love the logbooks. They're amazing. So this is literally how I thought Legion would be, where I thought the monoliths in map would be terrible, but that the emblems would be amazing. That is exactly how this league mechanic has turned out. While I was very wrong on Legion there. And the logbooks are really fun. It's like build your own Abyss or build your own Blight. Very strong, very fun, and incredibly rewarding. And they actually drop now. I feel like the lower ones, like pre-level 75, weren't that rewarding. But I got some 78s and 84s yesterday that were just shitting out loot. I think I got like 20 or 25 level 20 gems. And another like 15 to 20 that were quality 20. And it's just shitting out really good stuff. I had one that gave me like 70 or 80 Legion Splinters in a map, loads of enchants, loads of fractured items, and then been really, really good as well. So definitely liking that quite a lot. I still haven't encountered one of the bosses yet, but hoping to do that. And they do say on the logbooks if they have a boss. There is a lot of tactic behind the logbooks. Like you do want to try to make sure that the first ones are really, really strong. There are some people that think you have to wait all the way until the end till you can clear things. This is not the case, because the thing that like explodes, like the second last, third last, whatever, they are never, ever, no matter what, going to affect the first explosions, because those monsters are already out and this is not retroactive. So that makes it really important that, say you're hunting fractured items, right? That's one of the strongest things to go for. Then you would try to get that early in your chain, so that that like happens on everything later. And just quickly, if you are wondering what fractured items are, it's basically that stat is, well, virtually permanently on the mud, and you normally can't remove it. I don't know if Valing and breaking the item removes it, but like you could Chaos spam it, Essence spam it, and that mud will always be on there. So incredibly strong if you get it on a really, really strong stat. Other things that are really good, obviously, like Blight Oils can be very expensive and great, and enchants, and there are so much juicy stuff in the logbooks. I do want to quickly just talk about rug crafting as well. I do think I will make an entire crafting about rug, but let's quickly take this amulet here, right? So this is probably going to be the most confusing for a lot of people, but rug has one where it removes the lowest item level from a mod. And actually even easier to explain on the one, because I know for a fact this has happened to a lot of players right now. Let's say that this had the cold damage, the cast speed, the crit chance, the mana, but it also had plus level of cold spell skill gems. Now, a lot of people would see the one that is like remove the one lowest tier or the two lowest tiers mods. Now, however, this is item level 2, so this is in fact the lowest. It will show as tier 1 because it is only one tier of it, so it is in fact tier 1, but it is not going to remove like tier 3, tier 4, and I know a lot of you guys are going to hate this because you don't want to look up third-party program stuff, but you are going to have to go and look and be like, okay, cold damage, glaciated. Glaciated is level 52. Cast speed, Ledger Day main. Ledger Day main is 40, right? So that's lower. So very, very clunky. It helps a lot to have an extreme amount of game knowledge, but do be careful using that mod. Other than that, Rog can be incredibly, incredibly powerful. Probably the strongest thing since Harvest. And we have like people crafting insane gear with him. So I think, especially if there's a lot of demand, I want to make like a full like Rog crafting episode, because right now it feels very polarizing for a lot of players, where people are like, Rog is shit, I've never made a good item. And then you have people that do have a lot of crafting experience already and really get how it works, and they're like, Rog champ, dude, let's get a Rog emo. Rog is the best thing in the league. So if you guys want, I will try to make a separate Rog episode. He can also influence things and link things as well. So I've had like a lot of like item level 82 amulets and stuff like that. Quickly, before we end the video, let's talk about the strongest thing of the league mechanic, which in my opinion is too strong, even though the league mechanic generally isn't very strong. But it kind of shits on a lot of the general sense of progression of the game. And that is the fact that you can be in tier 1 maps this league and get item level 84 and 85. Which is very strange. It obviously impacts SSF more than normal, because on Trade League you can just buy it off other players. But by gambling from Gwennen and stuff, this is no bearing on like your how much you've progressed your Atlas or anything. It is just based on the character. So I can already get item level 85. I don't know if she can sell 86 at all, but I could have just leveled to like 88 or 89 in tier 1 maps and tier 5 maps. And a lot of people have done that on SSF, and then you're able to get good bases just by re-rolling. Whereas quite often in leagues, I've actually died because I've been trying to get high item level bases. That's actually what killed me in the last gauntlet. So this is incredibly strong, and yeah, the only reason I don't like it is because it really like breaks up your sense of progression, and makes like stretching or going for like a tier 16 obas, for example, to get item level 86 stuff, it makes it worse and harder. That is pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys are enjoying the league. Obviously, not a very popular one, and player retention is going to be rough this league. It's going to be particularly hard for content creators. To the people that are enjoying the league, that's awesome. And obviously, a lot of the changes are a bit of a shock factor. We do get used to it over time. And I'm enjoying the league a lot more now, especially playing Spectral Shield Throw. And yeah, hope you guys have an amazing time. Thanks so much for watching. Sub if you liked the video. More importantly, try to die less than I do.